Hey everybody, it's Parker here from the HTC Vive team, and we are on Qualicum Beach in Vancouver Island, where we're talking to Denny Unger, CEO and Creative Director of Cloudhead Games. You guys are currently working on Gallery, Episode 1, Call of the Starseed.
That's right. So in Call of the Starseed, it's very much a mystery. You don't know why you're there, other than you're looking for your sister Elsie, who's gone missing. It's set in the 80s. We did that with some purpose because every 80s movie you've ever watched kind of has this arc where things get really crazy and sometimes it's dark and weird and scary, but you always know by the end of an 80s movie, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna be taken care of.
We've built it basically to be an introduction to VR and also to the world we're creating, but we really focus on creating something that people who get their Vive day one can load up and just kind of be taken to another place and really have that experience of being transported.
Once people are past the technicalities of building for VR, where's the game? Where's the substance? We had an opportunity to kind of come back and try to build something deeper. Surprisingly, given our location, we do have a lot of AAA talent here from Relic and BioWare and EA. Very early on, we had prototype development hardware, and as we continued through development, and Valve pulled us in to explain what their initiative was with HTC, we had some very, very early access to their early hardware, and we could just kind of dive in.
We wanted to take people somewhere, and that we didn't want to just do that for 10 or 20 minutes and have it just be this kind of, oh, this place is pretty, but what am I doing here? For us, immersion doesn't just come from good graphics and good audio. It comes from believing that there's a purpose for you being in this place.
We all want to eventually play VR experiences that tell an entire story, that bring you through a real adventure. We feel like the power of VR is that it allows everyone to become the hero for the first time, and we really want to feel that full experience.
Forget what I said. It's totally safe. Safe enough.
Some of the bigger challenges were R&D based for us. You have all these expectations as a player, like if I touch this in a certain way, it's gonna move this way or it's gonna do this thing. So accounting for all of those expectations was a really big challenge.
VR, and the Vive in particular, allows the player incredible amounts of freedom. The advantages of that is that you can put the story in all these different places within the world. You can have notes and letters, you can have tapes, you can have characters in the world that explain massive chunks of the narrative, but at the same time, we can't force the player to explore if they don't want to. You want to give them as much freedom as you can, but at the same time, to make a game, you need confines. To design those confines while at the same time respecting that freedom was really difficult.
We had to figure out how to make comfortable locomotion. How do you move a person around a bigger world rather than just kind of being in a fixed space? So we created something called Blink. Teleportation in VR isn't new, so we're not claiming to have cracked teleportation as a means of moving around in VR. But what we did was stack a number of different systems on top of that to make it feel comfortable and to make it really intuitive.
It was kind of a mental leap. Up until then, we had kind of push forward stick movement, and we kind of went back to the drawing board and decided that that was our main mechanic, and we built the game around it. So in the game, you have basically an inventory system, and you can kind of reach behind you and pull it out and then interact with the items inside of it, collect things, and then use things from your backpack. We started with it just being on a button press, to bring it up like the classic kind of inventory that you're used to. Quickly realized that, wait, with motion control, there's all these shortcuts, like when do you ever need to reach behind you and grab something in the game? All of a sudden that's like a new button. And it made perfect sense as a backpack, like as a way to get your backpack out.
Yeah, I thought I had a spare regulator.
There's a big kind of misconception about room scale in terms of the size you require to do it. One of the great things about the Vive and the way Lighthouse tracks a space is that it's very precise tracking in a large volume. What that means is you can sit down and do an experience, or you can stand up and walk around, and it doesn't care. It'll treat those things in the exact same way.
Our game specifically, we've always built it to be usable in a small volume as well as a large one. But yeah, room scale has surprised everybody, I think, with how fun it is to do in a social setting.
I think one of the most surprising things about current generation VR is how social it is, actually. There's something about watching somebody perform an action in VR, when they're kind of pantomiming and they're physically moving around and they're reaching out and doing things, and you can see the reactions on their face or their mouth, that makes it a social experience. You want to see that person engage with that experience in that way because it's exciting and funny and all those good things.
I think room scale VR is incredibly social. You're watching on the screen what they're seeing, but then you're also seeing them physically doing things.
The experiences built over the next 5 years with a social aspect will be incredible. I think it'll enrich people's lives, not the opposite.
We really respect what VR is bringing to the table, and we really believe in it. We're not shortchanging any aspect of this game. We're trying to bring innovative solutions to this launch title to show people the potential of what VR can be, because we all want it to succeed.
We're really excited to be a launch title for the Vive because it gives us an opportunity to show people what a good VR experience might be, and what it will feel like. You know, as a studio, we've taken that on as a really firm objective. So yeah, this is episode 1. We're planning on 4 episodes. In terms of how long between episodes, it's really going to depend on the complexity and length of the episodes. We wanted it to feel like you just participated in a really great movie, and something that you can play from beginning to end in one sitting, one standing potentially. It should be an experience that you can share with your friends and say, look, this is VR, this is why VR is going to be important for you in the next 5 years. So right now it's really just about getting people in the headset to experience it for themselves, because you can't explain it. VR is, when it's done well, it gives you as an adult or someone who's grown out of childhood this ability to suspend your disbelief and return to all those ideas that you had when you were a kid, when you could just play and be in a special place and be in someone else's shoes or be in an environment that you can just lose yourself in. And as a kid, we can do that. We run around with play guns and we do all kinds of stuff to kind of lose ourselves in a moment. And I think VR gives you those tools to do that again as an adult. VR gives you this window. It's like a shared dream, and it just gives you the excuse to play.